Now from URI TV, this is Inside Rhode Island Basketball with Dan Hurley.
Welcome to the third episode of Inside Rhode Island Basketball with head coach Dan Hurley. I'm Yanni Karakis. Welcome into the studio again, coming off a big win Saturday over Dayton. Kind of could take a deep breath. You don't play again until Saturday. How's the mindset this week?
Yeah, it's great to win a big game and then have a couple days off. You get a chance to feel real good about yourself. Players have a lot of confidence right now, and then now it's about getting them some rest and recovery. Tweak some things that we want to fix moving forward, and get excited about an opportunity to play on the road on Saturday and hopefully get another great win.
And we'll talk about that Florida matchup in just a bit. Before we talk about the upcoming week, let's first take a look back at the game since we last met. As the A10 gauntlet continues, URI played at St. Joe's and home against Dayton earlier this week. It wasn't easy getting to Philadelphia as the winter storm made traveling to Philly difficult. Still, the Rams hung tough in the first half, trailing the Hawks by just 3 at the break. But in the second half, St. Joe's big man Ronald Roberts Jr. proved to be too much of a burden down low. Brody made things interesting in the final seconds, but ultimately lost 61-57. Saturday, it was the Coaches versus Cancer event at the Ryan Center, and the fans got the best brand of Rhode Island basketball this season had to offer. The Rams were lights out from the field, shooting 63%. Senior guard Xavier Munford scored 18 of his 27 points in the first half, and his teammates followed suit. Freshman E.C. Matthews recorded his first double-double as a collegiate player, and Gilvydas Biruta chipped in with 15. It was URI's second A10 victory on the season, and one that put the team right back in the thick of things in the crowded league standings. So an impressive win Saturday. What got into the team that they were shooting and hitting everything?
You know what, we just really came into form. We got off to a great start. The ball was moving. We had great energy. I think we came through the tunnel into the Ryan Center. You just felt great electricity from the crowd, and it just, the Providence game, we came out with great energy. Anytime we have a great crowd there, guys are just so excited.
Is it one of those things, too, where shooting is contagious? Xavier starts doing well and his teammates followed suit?
Yeah, I think this is really, a group that's now consistently starting to play together. We've obviously, we've lost some guys along the way due to health or other stuff, and I think we're finally starting to get some chemistry, and guys are starting to settle into some roles. And although we're not deep, I think it's a group we like coaching, and they like playing together.
E.C. Matthews, the freshman, he can fill up a box score in the points category, but 10 rebounds. He had a double-double. How encouraging is that for you that as a freshman he's getting double digits in points and rebounds?
Yeah, I mean, he's such a talented kid, and and didn't have a great first half. Missed the dunk, missed some shots from the field, but he's shown an ability to show resolve, come back and have great second halves, and he brings that other dimension, that athleticism, that length at the guard spot where you can go and get you 10 rebounds. Not a lot of guards in our league can do that.
Now you are 2-1 at home at the Ryan Center. You said how big it is for your program to play in front of a nice crowd. 2-1 at home already. Do you think if you can kind of hold court at home, maybe get a couple road wins, you guys should be good going forward?
Yeah, we've proven to be a pretty good road team. Even the losses that we've had there were against very, very good opponents, tight games. We're very comfortable in the arena. We're very comfortable playing in front of our fans. And it's a group that I think is improving every day we get in the gym.
Now you have Fordham on Saturday, a team that is just 1-5 in league play so far. You obviously want to tell your players, despite them being at the bottom of the standings, they have to be ready for Fordham. How do you approach the Rams for Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, with where our program's been in our recent history, I don't think we're in any position to look past anyone. And our focus is going to be, on doing a great job, with our perimeter defense. They obviously have a couple of the top scorers in the conference. And any road game in the Atlantic 10 is a very, very difficult game to win.
And we'll talk about that Florida matchup more as the show goes on. Now, we've done the mic'd up segment during practice so far this season, but this week we got inside the locker room before the game, during the game, and after the game. Here's what transpired leading up to tip-off Saturday against Dayton.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. Right, let's get this money.
Game goals, all right, 40% or lower. Our percentage of winning is very, very high. We keep them under 40% with our defense. We're going to give ourselves a great chance to win the basketball game. They're a good three-point shooting team. We're one of the best teams in the country at defending the three. We got to keep them at under 25%. Be real physical. We got to be +6 on the backboard. All right, +15 at LSU, +10 at St. Joe's. There's no reason why we can't +6 these guys. I mean, they're physical, they're big, they've got talented guys. We got to be more physical and more determined. Relentlessly pursuing deep position, okay, and active and demanding the basketball, our forwards. All right, and then we want to win the transition game with them. They don't do a great job of getting back. We need to do a great job of getting back. Be strong and assertive. You got to demand the ball this game. You don't want the ball, you got to demand the ball, and you got to get the ball and you got to make plays with it. We want to be opportunistic in transition. They've struggled at times with getting back on defense. Stay in the fight for 40 minutes or whatever it takes. Let's go. Stay in the fight for 40 or whatever it takes. Toughen together. 1, 2, 3. Tough together.
So looking back at that now, did you feel the good vibe before the game? Did you know your guys were going to come out and play looking at it now?
You know what, coaches always have a little feel, you know, and you know, sometimes you have great practices,
right,
and you guys fool you, and sometimes you're lethargic in practice and guys come out and play great. I've stopped trying to guess on their mood before games.
Pretty technical with some of your verbiage. We can +6 these guys. To the fan at home, what does that mean? You talk about a lot of numbers in here, obviously, margins versus the opponent. What are those type of things, the numbers you're honing in on? And do the players before tip, are they like, all right, I have to be +6, or they're just like, I have to play hard?
I just think that we take certain statistics in the game that are going to give us our best chance to be successful. You know, whether it's, you know, a +16 assists or 10 turnovers or under, or we want to be +10 on points in the paint, or we want to give up less than 4 transition points. A lot of it's based on our opponent, their strengths, and then the things that we're going to have to do to give ourselves the best chance to win. So we'll set about 10 game goals for ourselves that, you know, generally if you can accomplish 7 or 8 of them, you're going to have a great chance to win.
So it's sort of a winning formula that has proven to be true on paper and if you implement it in the game. All right, still to come after the break, we sit down with URI big man Gilvydas Biruta to profile his days under Coach Hurley in high school and making the transition as a transfer from Rutgers. Stay with us.
Sponsored by Alex and Ani. Positive energy, eco-friendly, made in America with love. Sponsored by South County Hospital Orthopedic Center. For expert care, look no further.
Welcome back to Inside Rhode Island Basketball with head coach Dan Hurley. I'm Yanni Karakis. A couple weeks ago, we profiled Xavier Munford, who you coached in high school. You also coached Gilvydas Biruta, who we're about to profile. Talk about your relationship with Gil over the years.
You know, it's one of those, you know, relationships that, you know, bonded at a very young age for Gil. You know, coming over from a, you know, foreign country, from Lithuania, you know, and I was his family for 2 years as his coach and also as his history teacher. And, you know, it's a special bond. You know, we want each other to do so well, and, you know, it's neat to coach him.
And again, it was one of the scenarios when you got the URI job, he was one of your first phone calls. Did you know he'd come follow you, or did you have to persuade him a little bit?
Well, you know, he had some big-time schools that were after him. I mean, the highest level of high major schools, and you know, but Gil trusts me with his career, and knows that you know, we're going to experience some great times here together.
All right, let's see the profile of Gilvydas Biruta by J.P. Smallins.
He's URI's leading rebounder and third leading scorer. Junior forward Gilvydas Biruta showing the skills that earned him a spot as a freshman on the Big East All-Rookie team. A product of Dan Hurley's high school program at St. Benedict's, the Lithuanian rounding into his best form after spending last season on the sidelines after his transfer from Rutgers.
In Europe, I didn't play 1 year, so kind of had flashbacks how I didn't get my license in Europe. I couldn't play, and I mean, it's rough. It's just to practice and not to get to compete. So I couldn't wait to get out to the court and play.
It's hard enough to bring a guy that hasn't played college basketball, you know, in quite some time, you know, onto a veteran team. You know, but when you know, when you take a bunch of guys that had effectively sat out and throw them on the court with some freshmen and, you know, and 2 returning players, and you know, sometimes it takes some time to find his rhythm and you know, get adjusted to new teammates and you know, a new playing environment. And I think you know, at times I think we've seen what Gil's capable of, and I think it's right now just about you know, finding that consistent performance from him and that, that confidence and that comfortability.
His comfort with Hurley made URI the perfect choice for Gil. After Mike Rice's coaching work with the Scarlet Knights drew national attention for all the wrong reasons, Kingston became a safe haven where the big man could rejoin the mentor who first put his Division I dreams on track.
I was very happy to reunite because, like when I was at Rutgers, I heard that he got the job, and I kind of dreamed for a second, but I never, I didn't expect to go to Wagner and stuff but when this whole situation happened, I was really happy that I was able to move here.
Gil was looking for, obviously a relationship, somebody you could trust. Obviously, when you transfer, there's a reason for it, and you have to find an environment that you're going to be able to thrive in, and people that you can trust, and I'm a tough, demanding coach, and Gil is a very, very intense player and an intense personality, and I think that I think it's a relationship that that's based on trust, and I think we push each other, we push each other's buttons, because we're both very, very similar.
He's very intense, very energetic and passionate, and he wants to win, and I believe I'm the same way. I'm very passionate. I bring a lot of emotion to the game, and he brings emotion as well, all that passion, and I really admire him for being such leader.
And Gil has such a rare skill set. He's good feet, good hands, a skilled big man, and he's getting better as the year goes on.
He's getting better. I mean, early in the year he wasn't healthy at all. Probably played at 70%. And, he started the conference in double-doubles. He's one of the best power forwards in the conference. And I think you see a glimpse of what he's going to really be for us over the next year and a half here. Once he gets completely right, completely comfortable, in this playing situation, and once the parts around him get settled.
And how is he doing personally in Kingston? He's had a lot of change in his life over the years. How is he fitting in to the college lifestyle here?
Well, he enjoys it. At Rutgers, he was a huge fan favorite. The energy that he played with, really brought a lot of electricity through that arena. And I think he'll be able to, be that type of ignition for us here as well. Moving forward, he's starting to find his rhythm. He played great against Dayton. He was outstanding against George Mason and against LaSalle, and in limited action, only 19 minutes, 11 points at St. Joe's. If we could just keep him out of foul trouble and keep him on the court, he's one of the elite power forwards in the conference.
And he had 15 points in Saturday's win over Dayton. Still to come on Inside Rhode Island Basketball, we'll take you inside the locker room after Saturday's win. Plus, Coach Hurley and I head to the big board to break down a play. Stay with us. And welcome back. Earlier in the show, we took you inside the locker room before the game. After the game, a different scenario after the team beat Dayton. Here's what transpired after that big win.
Yeah! Let's go! You do it, baby.
Here we go, boys! Here we go! Oh, that was nice. Oh, that was nice right there. That was nice. That was nice. Hey, listen, that's what you go through all the stuff during the week. The video, the brutal video. The drills we don't want to do. The coaches bearing down on you, saying all kinds of stuff to you to try to get you going and to try to toughen you up so that we can have these type of moments together. We played great. We played great. It was fun. It was fun. We were great offensively. Everybody that played for us helped us. Those guys good. I mean, they played 10, 11 really talented players. We talked about Maui championship game. Top 25 ranked at one point in the season. And, this was a killer game for both of us because we both came in the same position but one conference win. And we showed a lot of grit, a lot of toughness, and a lot of things we could keep building on. All right, let's bring it in, boys. That was a great.
Continue to believe, baby. Continue to believe.
All right, tough and together. 1, 2, 3.
Obviously, a very happy locker room after the win. It's so rewarding, I imagine, because as you mentioned there, you put so much work into the week, and for it to pay off, it has to feel good.
Yeah, I mean, it's the assistant coaches and myself, the 50, 60 hours of game film that you watch preparing for Dayton, the game planning, both the physical and the mental preparation that you do with your players on the court, as well as, texting them at night before the game, just making sure that their confidence is in the right place, and then, it's part of sports. You get to enjoy those great moments together as a group after you put in all the grueling work.
And you mentioned that. When it comes to morale, when you have some tough losses, is it important to enjoy the wins so that these guys remember to still have fun out there?
Yeah, it is. I mean, you really have to enjoy it. It's such a tough conference right now, and we're at the early stages of building what we're building, and you really have to enjoy the wins, especially when you play as well as we played against a quality opponent, a team that at one point early in the season was ranked in the top 25.
So we saw the reaction there after the game. We saw before the game. Meanwhile, here's how some of your players describe your coaching style.
He's a tough coach, and he's going to get every last little drop out of you, you owe him to come to practice and work just as hard as him because he gives you 100% every day. So I'll just say if you want to, Coach Hurley's not going to sugarcoat nothing, so just be ready for it, and it makes you better.
Coach Hurley's a great coach. After I left St. Benedict's, I valued all the intangibles that he installed in the program, on and off the court. So coming to play for Coach Hurley is a great opportunity for me to learn a lot more, and just he's going to help me in the future a lot.
Everyone always has the same message that you're tough but fair and you expect a lot of your players. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I'm just passionate about the game, and feel like it's my responsibility every day to drive these kids and push these kids, to reach their potential. If we leave it up to them to set the standard for how hard they want to work every day, it might be somewhere here.
Yep.
That they need coaches and adults to drive them and push them every day to be at their very best.
All right, well, it's the time of the show where we do every week, we break down a play. This is from the St. Joseph game last week. Pretty standard screen and roll there. Matthew Butler gets it to Finney Onyekaba there for the layup. Looked pretty easy. It's not always that easy. Just take us through here. What
we tried to do here, this is called motion out for us. We play 5 offensive players along the perimeter. We had very good spacing on that particular set. We had 3 shooters on the weak side with EC, Xavier, Jarrell Rochelle, and then we had Matt Butler, catching it, receiving a quick ball screen. Obviously, the weak side defenders can't help because they're with 3 shooters, and now it's a 2-man game where, once this post defender or forward defender stepped out and hedged on the ball screen, there was no one there for that quick little pocket pass is what we call it, for Matt Butler. And Afani did a great job of what we call soft rolling to the basket, setting it, kind of being a little bit patient, allowing it to develop. Hands were ready, and both of those 2 guys, there's going to be many more plays like that in the future for both of them. And it's important in terms of spacing, like you said, to bring players away from the basket so that Onyekaba can go there pretty much unfazed. Yeah, it's the toughest thing that you can work on offensively with your team, because most young players feel like the best way for them to get the basketball is by running to it. Right. The best way to get the basketball in a good position is to stay as far away from it as you can, because you're going to have dribble penetration, you're going to have post passes, and then help's going to come, and the better spaced out you are from the ball, better chance you have of getting it. All right, sounds good. One more timeout on the show coming up. After the break, a terrific fundraiser, Coaches versus Cancer. We recap Saturday's event at the Ryan Center.
Sponsored by Beltone Hearing Aid Centers, helping the world hear better. Sponsored by Muse Tavern, the official tavern for URI Athletics.
Danny is a brilliant young guy in the way that he prepares his team, in the way that he recruits, in the way that he's going to energize in that great building, their fan base. I think that it's interesting, the team building that he's going to go on, and I think that what he went through at St. Benedict's is really going to help him here, because putting together the transfers with the carryover players, with still doing a high level of recruiting, I don't think there's a lot of teams you should sleep on in this league, but definitely not Rhode Island.
Welcome back to the show. That was St. Joe's head coach Phil Martelli. Nice to have some praise from the longest tenured A-10 coach.
Yeah, I just see so many similarities with Coach Martelli and my dad. You know, he stayed in Philadelphia. He had great success there, had opportunities to leave, and you know, and stayed in Philly. Found his niche. Loves the university. You know, one of the very best coaches in our sport, and a great ambassador as well.
With some high praise for you there. Now let's take a look at the upcoming A10 schedule. We mentioned you're not in action until Saturday when you head to Fordham. The Rams just 1-5 in the year in the A10. Then it's at VCU, another set of Rams, but this version ranked as high as 10 in the country at one point earlier in the season. And you aren't back home at the Ryan Center until Sunday, February 9th against rival UMass, a team that is ranked 13th currently in the country. So when you look at that slate, what comes to mind? Every time we do this, you kind of say, God, the league is so tough, and that's your thought, I'm assuming, right now?
Yeah, I mean, the league is so challenging. It's, you know, you can't really look at anything on your calendar or look too far ahead and try to pinpoint one you could get. You know, obviously, you know, Fordham is, you know, loaded with high-scoring guards. Any place in this conference is tough to win on the road. VCU presents an enormous set of challenges, you know, especially with, you know, our lack of backcourt depth against their pressure.
Right.
You know, is going to be something that we're going to have an absolute, you know, great game plan, and then, you know, get a chance to play UMass at home, who, you know, will be nationally ranked. You know, we haven't beaten a nationally ranked opponent in, you know, quite some time. I think since 1999. So, you know, it'd be exciting.
Right.
You know, hopefully, you know, these next 3 games.
And it was an exciting atmosphere at the Ryan Center on Saturday. Coaches versus Cancer, it's really become the staple of college basketball. The sneakers with the suit is kind of the symbol of that. You and your wife were very active on Saturday with fundraising. Talk about the experience Saturday.
Yeah, it was very passionate. You know, something my wife Andrea and you know, a lot of folks have experienced firsthand. You know, battles with cancer, and you know, we feel like we did a great job. We did our part as a university, as a program. You know, it was a great day. You know, and we played great,
right.
You know, which made the day that much better.
And here's one of the event organizers talking about Saturday's event.
Today's event was great. We were so excited to have Coach Hurley and his wife Andrea join the Coaches versus Cancer team and host this event for us. The staff here at URI has been amazing. This is the 20th anniversary of the Coaches versus Cancer program, and over the years, coaches across the country and teams have raised so much money through the American Cancer Society, and we're just excited to have URI and other schools involved in the program.
Definitely a terrific event Saturday. Final thoughts. You're a happy guy right now coming off Saturday's win. How long do you remain happy for?
Well, you know, you start really, you know, you give yourself about 24 hours, you know, and it's important. We have a bye week. You know, we don't play midweek, so it gives us a great chance, you know, to get out and do some recruiting. You know, there's obviously some, you know, some needs that we have moving forward that we have to get filled to continue to improve and take steps. And but our focus right now is on Fordham.
All right. Dan Hurley, thanks so much for joining us. Have a good night, everybody.